Here we have a pre-owned 2021 Mazda 3. This one is a hatchback, comes in ebony black, and then we also have black leatherette interior. And the powertrain consists of a 2.5 liter Skyactiv, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, made it to a 6-speed automatic transmission, and that gives us 186 horsepower. Front end here, LED headlamps, just standard, fantastic look. I love the black mesh grille as well. And coming around the wheels here, there's going to be 18s. Again, super aggressive look for a car like this. Now we get passive keyless entry on the front. Power door lock controls are here. We get one-touch automatic up and down windows on all 4 doors, which is fantastic. And then a rear window lock. Power mirror controls there. We can turn those on and off and adjust. And then we also have blind spot monitors on both the side mirrors as well. Tons of storage in the door panel here, big bottle holder, and then blind spot monitor, cutoff, traction control, and then the memory seat functions here. You just hold that set button until it beeps, and then you click the next button or whichever one you want to set there. We have a tilt and telescoping steering wheel. And then here's our 8-way power driver's seat with power lumbar support. So that's set in my seating position, being 6'3" with longer legs. And this is a small hatchback, so I wasn't expecting to be able to sit back here, but you have a little bit of space there. And then the cup holders right in there. Fuel cap there. And then come around to the back end here. Stunning look. LED tail lights. And I love having the reverse lights LED as well, super bright. Which not a lot of manufacturers do that. And we have the dual exhaust down there. And huge shout out to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below to it as well as their entire inventory in the description below. But tons of space behind the second row. And then there you have the spare tire, if you ever need that. And a quick look underneath the vehicle. Now if you need even more space for storage, or if you need to run longer objects, you can just push this button down here. When the seats are up far enough, you can fold them flat and run longer objects through to the front. And it's pretty easy to lock it back into place. You just click there. Now to the front passenger seat. It's going to be a 4-way manual seat. And then we have a glove compartment here. Awesome size for the car. And then I love how the vents are right in there and how they go across. Just a great look for the interior, in my opinion. We're coming back around to the front, taking a look underneath the hood. There's that Skyactiv G 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. But now let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So, leatherette steering wheel here, nice look, feels good. From the driver's seat, even with the sunroof, I have a couple of inches of headroom, and then the seat is actually pretty wide. It can fit my wider stature as well, and a good driving position that I'm in now, so pretty impressed by that. Coming over to the screen here, we have all of our infotainment options, so I can go in here and then toggle my favorites, and then we can also go through our sources here, and we have FM, AM, Pandora, Bluetooth, and we have USB. And then on top of that, we get our Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wired as well. And info is here. We have a fuel efficiency monitor and then a vehicle status monitor. And then here we have our navigation system. And then you can add a destination, and then it'll send you where you need to go. And then our settings are right in here. So if you want to connect your Bluetooth, go to connectivity settings, Bluetooth settings, and then you can pair a new device and it'll walk you through all that. So it'll show you what phone's available, blah, blah, blah. But I actually like the screen, looks nice. And down here we have our dual zone automatic climate controls. We can toggle the auto there and then turn the auto off by adjusting the fan speed. And then we can sync and unsync there. And then when it's synced, we can also unsync by adjusting our own temperature on that passenger side. AC toggle here, again, buttons for fan speed. You can turn the whole system off. 3-stage heated front seats. And then our defrosters here, hazards there. And I like how they hid the USB port. It's just right in there, out of the way. And then you can store your phone there, cup holders here. Now for the shifter, pull this lever, reverse, neutral drive, and then you can come over here and manually shift. And then all of your radio controls are here. So that's not a touch screen, but I love how they set this up. You can go through your track list there by scrolling, and then volume knob here, favorites there. And you can go ahead and use that button as you like. So all that's set up. And then home, music, nav, back button. Pretty easy to use the system all in all. An electronic parking brake, pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down and disengage, automatic brake hold. And then we can toggle our sport mode on and off there. Center console cubby space, actually great size. USB-A input there, and then a 12 volt right there. And then up here, we can toggle our dome lights, nice and bright. Sunglasses holder, and then power sunroof. And the control for that is there. Just push in a tilt, and then you can slide it back. So that's one touch. And I love that it goes that far back, very impressive. And one touch close as well. And then back to the steering wheel, we have our volume controls here. We can go through our track list or radio station presets here, and you can click this button to go through different sources. So whether it's AM, FM, or if you have something else hooked up, you can use that as well. Voice recognition, Bluetooth control, and then this info button is for your gauge cluster, the middle part there. Sorry for the glare. So you can toggle all of that. And then your Mazda radar cruise control is right here, and you can toggle that here. And then you can set and then adjust the gap here, and you can cancel there. I love how they set up these controls, how everything is, it has a use. And then you can toggle your trip mode or your trip meter here. So it'll show you trip A, trip B, and then the mileage. And again, the glare on this gauge cluster is kind of bad right now because the sun's right above me, but this one has right at 44,222 miles. Blinkers are there. Auto high beam toggle is right there on the side, and then your auto headlamps are here, regular headlamps are there, and then you can put on your brights there. And I like that you can turn the brights on and off without having to do that. And then over here's the windshield wiper controls, one time, and then we do have auto, low, and high, and I love that the auto mode illuminates here. That was so cool to do that. And then you can adjust the sensitivity there, and you have a rear wiper here as well, and then you just pull there or pull down here for rear wiper fluid, and then pull up here for front wiper fluid. Turn everything off. And then we have the gauge cluster brightness we can adjust here. And that's also for the system too. And then we have push button start. And finally, here's our key fob. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2021 Mazda 3 Hatchback out on the road for a quick test drive. So right off the bat, very impressed with the acceleration of this 2.5 liter. Although it's not turbocharged, it does have a great acceleration feel. As I put my foot down, get higher in the RPM range, I really start to feel this car pull. So quite impressed so far. Now I'm gonna put in the sport mode, I'm just curious. So revs get hotter, of course, and the vehicle actually becomes more responsive to throttle output. But we do have the speed limit reader there, like having that, and where there's a red line to show you if you're going over the speed limit or not. But we're gonna put our foot down. I'm gonna see how this thing really does. that's impressive. That is very impressive. And this takes bumps very nicely as well. I'm pretty surprised. Not saying I should be, but it's impressive. And then the lane departure system is also fantastic. So it starts to go back in the lines. It'll ping me back. It did a little better earlier. But again, I shouldn't say again, but I always say in my car reviews, with lane departure systems that have like a lane keep assist, not a lane centering, they're really not meant to rely on. They're just there for when you need them, for whatever reason. But again, ride quality is superb for this kind of car. And pretty good sound acoustics in here. I'm just hearing a little bit of feedback from the wind noise, but nothing at all crazy. And I actually wouldn't mind taking a vehicle like this out for longer road trips. And usually I'm not one of those people to say that about small cars, but having the power 8-way seat, lumbar support, the radar cruise control, the lane keep assist system, the navigation, just everything in here is pretty top notch. Now what I love about Mazdas, and honestly I feel like they've been like that for a long time, they just seem more agile than your typical competitor. So when I think about the Corolla or the Civic, I feel like this Mazda 3 handles and feels sportier than the competition. And even compared to the Nissan Sentra, the Skyactiv G engine is pretty nice. Then you go to the 2-liter turbo and then that thing is so quick. But just impressed by this naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, just how it delivers power to the car. With 186 horsepower, this thing is pretty darn quick. And then you can expect to get 30 miles per gallon plus in terms of fuel economy on the highway. But all in all, for the money, I think you can't beat it. I think this one might be around, I think it's 25 grand used. And again, you have heated seats, LED headlamps, radar cruise control, which is a big plus in my opinion, navigation. You just can't beat what you get for the money with this Mazda 3 hatchback. Especially in today's car market. But I also just feel like with this powertrain setup that this will last a long time and it won't be difficult to maintain like other competitors may be. When you have the turbo engines, the CVTs. So again, they just did a fantastic job with this car. And I also like how the digital gauge cluster is in the middle, and then the speedometer is digital, but the other analog gauge clusters on either side still look modern without feeling like you need to have the whole gauge cluster digital. But I'm going to test out the manual shift mode. So again, pretty quick, just like an automatic shifting. So it was actually pretty fun to use that bad boy. But fantastic option if you're in the market for a car like this. Great power for the segment. Great technology for the segment. And just a pretty good car. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2021 Mazda 3 Hatchback Preferred.